What is up, guys? Jimmy or Chaos. I wanted to come on camera before we get into this video because I just wanted to be very adamant about a few things. First of all, if you don't want the post-credit scene of Venom Let There Be Carnage spoiled, leave now. No hard feelings. I completely understand. Hey, check it out. It's National Venom Day. The movie launches today. This probably goes up the day after. If you don't want to be spoiled, click off. I fully understand. I don't want to ruin your experience at all. If you're the kind of person that just can't help themselves, I've got you covered. We are going to break down the post-credit scene in its entirety. Huge shout out again to Sony and G Fuel for allowing me and Ashley to go to LA and attend the premiere and see Venom early. And we got the message from Andy Serkis and Tom Hardy, and they said, don't spoil anything. Well, I'm putting a big spoiler alert up. So if you don't want to be spoiled, back out now. If you're ready for this, here we go. And remember, guys, we're still giving away a PlayStation 5 at 10,000 subs. Be subscribed, notifications turned on. Leave a comment on every video who your favorite Marvel character is. Include your Twitter handle. If you win, I need to be able to get hold of you. And that's it. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for the support. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers, and it's time. I'm going to leave you for the other me that is going to break down the post-credit scene of Venom Let There Be Carnage. And I'm telling you right now, it may be the most important post-credit scene we've ever gotten in the MCU. That is no exaggeration. You'll find out why. Enjoy. Now that we've gotten the double and triple spoiler warning, spoiler alert out of the way, and we've got the PS5 giveaway out of the way, it's time, my friends. If you're still on this video, well, you are about to find out how big of a moment this Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene is. It doesn't just have to do with the Venom series. It is much, much bigger than that. So if you're still here, I commend you. If you're not still here, you'll never hear this, but I completely understand you don't want to get it spoiled. So after you go watch it, you definitely should come back even though I'm talking to you and you're not here. Okay, anyway, it's time to get into it. Here we go. So, post-credit scene. The credits roll and we get to a point where Eddie and Venom are on a resort. They're in a very, very lovely beach hotel room. And they're sitting there doing what they do, bantering back and forth. And somehow they get on the conversation of how Venom has just light years of knowledge, like thousands of years of knowledge and traveling, and that it would completely destroy Eddie's brain if he shared all that knowledge with him, all that information, all that history. And Eddie says, of course, no, share it with me. So Venom says, okay, I'm going to share a fraction of it with you. And at that moment where he starts to, I guess you could say, Vulcan mind meld with Eddie, there is a huge flash. Everything changes color. The best I can remember is it was like an ambient orange vibe flash. You could tell there was an event that happened. Okay, we'll leave it at that. At that moment, an event happens. And it wasn't Venom giving Eddie all the knowledge. He wasn't able to do that. He wasn't able to fulfill that because this event happened. And then as we look at the room, the hotel room, it's set up kind of from the door view, and Eddie was on the bed. Well, all the colors look different. The outside, the beach, the trees, everything has a different hue about it. So the TV's on. And guess what? If you remember these leaks, you were right, but you weren't exactly right. On the TV is none other than J. Jonah Jameson, the Daily Bugle, and he is talking about Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And then we see Tom Holland's Spider-Man on the TV screen. They talk something about it. I can't remember what they said. And they both kind of look like, hey, we need to go to New York. And Venom licks the TV screen and says something about Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was a very, we need to go find this guy. We need to see what this guy is all about. Now, this is bigger than just the fact that Tom Holland's Spider-Man, the MCU timeline, was on the TV and Eddie Brock and Venom were watching it. Because one of two things happened here, guys, and I want you to kind of help me decide which one it is after you've seen the movie. It was either the event that Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, Tom Holland, were doing in the trailer for No Way Home, where he was casting the spell to help Peter out with his identity crisis. He was casting the spell to where everybody would forget that Mysterio outed Peter Parker as Spider-Man. And we're pretty sure that's where all these timelines crossed and interjected, and that's where we got the Sinister Six, and we got Doc Ock and Green Goblin and all of them, Electro, coming into the same timeline, and allegedly where Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to come from. It could be that one, but the scene on the TV, and me and Cosmic Wonder talked about this, it was very familiar, and it all happened so fast. It was very reminiscent and familiar to the post-credit scene from Far From Home. Now, I can't remember if it was exactly that scene, and it's super important to remember, and I can't do it, but let's just say for the sake of argument that it was that scene. If it was that scene, then this is probably the wrong theory. It probably wasn't Doctor Strange and No Way Home, because obviously that happens after this scene, and that wouldn't make any sense. So what's the other event? Well, the other event, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the end of Loki, was Sylvie putting a knife or a blade through the He Who Remains, aka Kang the Conqueror, okay? And you could see the timeline starting to split in the window outside. So it was either one of two events. It was either Sylvie killing He Who Remains, which started the multiverse kind of going haywire, or I'm wrong, and that wasn't the post-credit scene on the TV, and that was a different news report that was already happening in No Way Home, and it was Doctor Strange and Peter trying to cast the spell to get everybody to forget him, where we're pretty sure he screwed everything up. And at that moment, guys, Venom and Eddie Brock have been pulled into the MCU. It is official. It is done. They are now in, well, they're in the sacred timeline. They're in the main timeline of Peter Parker. Now, how that actually portrays down the road, I don't know. But once you watch this, you will see. It's official. Venom is now in the MCU. Eddie Brock and Tom Hardy are now in the MCU. And then the post-credit scene closes with a guy walking out of the bathroom in the hotel room, the resort, and saying, "Why are you in my room?" So basically, at that moment, they got pulled into the main MCU timeline, and it wasn't their room anymore. It was somebody else's room. Like I said, you can see everything has a little different persona to it. Everything has a little different hue. You could tell they're in the same room, but it's not the same timeline. And that coincides with the fact that they see Tom Holland's Peter Parker on the TV. What does this mean? Well, in the bigger sense of things, I mean, all bets are off. All hats are off. It looks like Sony and Marvel and Disney are prepared to work together way into the future. And if that's the case, it's the best thing that could happen for fans. If they decide not to split off and have like Tom Holland go over to the Spider-Verse and Venom and it's all in that world, and they decide to actually coexist together and make these things so much bigger with all the IPs, it's the beginning of just absolute madness. Multiverse of Madness. We thought it couldn't get any bigger with Loki. We thought it couldn't get any bigger with No Way Home and all the rumors of Tobey Maguire and Garfield. We thought it couldn't get any bigger with What If and the possibilities that some of those scenarios could actually end up in the main live-action MCU. Well, guess what? It just got bigger. Because this is like unofficial confirmation that Sony and Marvel are ready to ramp this thing up even more. It's true. I mean, Venom is in there. It is happening. And that is your post-credit scene, my friends. I'm going to go back and watch this movie 2 or 3 more times just for the post-credit scene. Now, if you want my full spoiler review on Venom, Let There Be Carnage, that will go up tomorrow. But I had to get this post-credit scene out to you guys. Just to recap really quick. They're in a hotel. They're talking. They're bantering. Venom says, "I have so much knowledge, I would explode your brain." Eddie says, "Give it to me." He says, "I'll give you just a pinch." And then as he goes to do it, we have an event. And then all of a sudden they're in the room, but it's not the same timeline. They're watching Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker on the TV. And Venom licks the TV, licks Spider-Man, and that's where they're going to head. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. And the other thing is maybe when Venom was about to like Vulcan mind meld with him, maybe that combined with either Sylvie's event or Doctor Strange's spell event in No Way Home, whichever one ends up being the right one, made it to where they specifically got pulled into this timeline. That's all I've got, guys. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Thank you for subscribing to the Chaos Multiverse. It's just the beginning. It's truly fun. I'm having a blast with this channel and growing this community. Yeah. Anyway, the full spoilers alert video will be up tomorrow. I'll see you soon.